maybe I'll bring your sister over here, let her dance with me just for the hell of it.
The crowd in party mood. They're looking forward to this one. Two-time Lakeside champion against the reigning champion of the BDO. Hankey against Waite. How does it go? Has Hankey got a bat in hell's chance? At Sky Sports Darts, let us know. Join in the banter. Should be interesting, this one. Waite won 5-3 when they met in the group stage. Hankey on a high after that 10-9 win over Whitlock when he came back from the dead. How will this one pan out? John Part and Wayne Marden, your commentators.
Thanks, Dave. And if Ted Hankey's game against Simon Whitlock is anything to go by, this could be special. He faces a man in Scott Waite that has already beaten him in this Grand Slam of Darts. In the group phase, Scotty 2 Hottie beat the count 5-3. But this is a completely different match, different format, a massively long format. We know what each player is capable of. The current BDO world champion takes on twice former world champion. That Ted Hankey is the twice former champion. Now, John Part, what does Ted Hankey have to do to keep Scott Waite in check?
Well, I see it that Ted won his last match, and he didn't play a great game at all. Really, it was a great comeback of sorts, but he wasn't at his best all game or at any part of it. He finished well at times. Give him respect. He can play a solid game, and if he turns up and plays a normal Ted Hankey good game, you know, that could be enough to win. Not saying it will be, but it could be.
100. But the way he played against Dave Chisnell, Ted Hankey was fantastic. Took out a 170, averaged in the mid-90s. Now, mid-90s average for the duration of this could take him very, very close indeed, especially if Scott Waite continues to score 9.
100.
Well, a couple of tons and a 60. No loose darts to the side, so that's a good sign for Ted. And he'll want to get more scoring, obviously. I don't think we have to really discuss Scott and his scoring efforts, because he will. He's a prolific scorer, as most top dart players are, and champions.
57.
But it is very, very nice for any player to remain straight for the first few legs. As you said, John, you don't want to be hitting 1s and 5s early, because it can prey on your mind.
125.
But we know Scott will be hitting treble 20s, seemingly for fun, during this match.
94. Scott, you require 167.
A difficult chance for a break, especially when it's the first leg of the match. Trying a little hard that first dart. Yeah, focus not quite there yet.
Well, that's now 6 or 7 wayward darts for Scotty. Not too hotty at the moment. Now, may go treble 15. Well, that leaves the bullseye.
65.
Good effort.
Scott, you require 104.
Yep, well, it's a long match. You have some time to settle in, but this would be nice for him. Needs treble 18 to leave double 16.
96.
Finds the treble when not needed. Can be frustrating at times.
Ted normally goes for a 1. Well, he did go for a 1 to leave double 12. That leaves double 1. It's not the way he wanted to go, but who cares? Ted Hankey is 1-0 up. Scott Waite's okay, he's lost it, didn't play well in that leg, but he will not be too perturbed at all.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Ted, he doesn't care how he wins a match or how he wins a leg. He got the double, and that's what the one thing he said after he won the match the other night. I hit all my doubles late in the match, and that's what he was thinking about. And you see the strength of that thought. He got that double one when he needed it.
And it was first dart as well. Okay, he made a bit of a mess of the 25 by missing the 1, but he hit the double first dart.
Well, excluding the bull, but you know, that's always, you don't really count them at times, especially when it is maybe not needed.
Ted's thought process before the match was stick with Scott for the first 10, 15, 20 legs and see how it pans out. Could be in front before then, Ted. Don't put yourself down, man.
Well, not judging by these. Ted looking to get an answer in. Second dart just slipped, but a good cover down to 19s.
I know it's so early, but no antics as yet from the count. 54 for 32 for Waits. We'll go treble 20. Well, went for treble 12 to leave 32.
50.
Eventually leaves 36. Will he need to get it? Yes, he will.
Yeah, without question.
59.
Just 3 singles leaves a very definite threat on the horizon if he misses the double 18. Well, that's got to be a good marker. He went to the wrong side, though. I think that second dart pushed the other dart to obscure the double more, and he had to pick that bottom right corner. That was a really fantastic dart.
Yeah, I agree. And that will settle him down as well.
43.
That will not please Ted, as the face just showed. He does give off these fantastic expressions.
You know, and as you're starting a match off, and especially a long match, and you get your first leg, you get down to a double the first time, sometimes you just look at the double as a whole, and you think you're focusing, but you're not really. And I think a situation like that there, where Scott is forced to pick just the smallest part, brings his focus into play, and sure enough, he hits. Whereas if he had the whole thing to aim for, maybe he just misses.
Yeah, you can throw to an area, can't you? And
well, sometimes the need of the smaller target actually draws your focus out much better.
96.
You know, that's obviously a plus.
Hence the reason why people hit bullseye whilst going for semi-bullseye.
That, and they're unlucky.
57.
Well, Ted's at it. It's taken him 2.5 legs, and Ted, there we go. He's angry already.
96.
Come on, he screams. Well, scream all you like, Ted.
35.
For some reason, I imagine him chasing Smurfs. He's just in a nasty, nasty mood when he plays his best.
140.
Gotcha, John. Gotcha. Gargamel, yes. In trouble in this leg.
90.
Scott Waits.
70.
Got 6 darts for 70. Will not want to take any more than 2 now. Double 8. Got to move over.
54.
That was unlucky. Ted started off his match against Simon Whitlock. Well, he needed something. A catalyst. Is that it?
16.
And it also gives him a chance to slow down Scott's approach to this double 8. Did it affect his focus? Looking that way. Looking that way.
That would have changed his thought process on that double 8 entirely, John.
Well, you have to love the enthusiasm. His plan came together.
Ted Hankey was on 192. This man, Scott, was on double 8. He's rattled him. He rattled Whitlock. We see it. We see it happen before our very eyes. This is all too early.
140.
I'm talking nonsense. Scott Waits. Well, he's clearly vexed about something.
Well, we see the averages are nothing to write home about, but certainly the timing from Ted Hankey has been exquisite.
137.
A couple of doubles out on first asking, and a 180 at the perfect time.
It was the 180, it was the double 6, and it was starting with 140.
82.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and the double 1 in the first leg. It was It's just timing is everything. I've said it a million times and I won't stop because these averages, they lie. They tell you how a guy's form is, but form isn't winning.
Will switch. May go back up and does.
59.
Well, he's levelled it off, but didn't really hurt Scott at all. We've seen one of these in the Grand Slam of darts so far, and that was Ted Hankey's against Dave Chisnall. That was in the group phase.
134.
Well, an excellent lead for Scott. Can Ted get another 180 to rattle him? He's thinking it. He's thinking it. He did it!
You were thinking it, John. Now, if Scott waits, this. He will be rattled, there's no doubt about it. 99. That is a good dart, because I'll tell you something, that wasn't easy, John. Once the first dart goes inside, that wasn't easy to switch across the board and hit 99.
Just a lovely dart under pressure from Scott,
55.
especially after missing the first, and the 99 is never a nice one to look at, because if you hit inside, obviously you have no other darts.
Killed Hankey's momentum. Now, if Scott can break here and go into the break,
96.
leading 3-2, that will stop Hankey in his tracks.
Yeah, I don't know if he can handle a one-leg comeback.
No, momentum-wise.
Oh,
60.
yeah.
Come on, John. Yeah, we know Ted can't come back from being one leg down. Maybe 5.
He prefers 5, yeah. You haven't lived till you're 5 legs down.
96.
Trust me. Who am I talking to?
I'm always 5 legs down. This is an important leg, though.
97.
Just for one-upmanship. And it's more important to Ted Hankey than it is to Scott Waits in the fact that he's throwing first in this session.
$137.
Just reading his emotion in his eyes, Scott looks like he's calmed down a fair bit. I wouldn't say he's at his most calm and serene when he's playing his best, but compared to the couple of legs, he seems to have settled down because of that 99. Obviously concerned still, but not quite as unsettled.
Well, Wayward's second one leaves it a bit awkward.
81.
Good last start. Now, if Ted... Them shirts never go out of fashion. They refuse to. They were never in fashion,
99.
some say. I disagree.
Scott, you require 91.
Well, they're fireproof, aren't they? Could be 17s or bull. Let's see what he chooses. Yes, so 41, 9 for double 16. One dart, double 16 to break.
59. Ted, you require 90.
Ted wanted 90, the first leg of the match, and went bullseye. Same way, now, 15 or treble 15. Now that leaves double 10 for a 90
70.
finish to win the first session
Scott, you require
3-2.
32.
Not to be.
And of course the theatrics with the miss. Let Scott think about it before he tries to get it. Double 8.
A
lovely dart. And he takes us with a break, to a break. He leads 3-2. And he leaves Ted thinking just a little. We'll be back to Wolverhampton shortly.
Playing okay, but will have to improve, because you just feel with Scott Waits that he has the ability, obviously, but he has the mental attitude to deal with Ted. Looked a bit rattled for one or two legs, but has settled down, as you quite rightly pointed out, John, and nicked the last leg before the break. That's why he's 3-2 up and throwing first.
60.
And Ted doesn't punish the 60 from Waits. Just gets 60 himself, so a minor let off.
Well, even during the break, Ted was tapping himself on the noggin,
100.
saying, come on, come on. So it's not just for the cameras or for the fans, it is for him.
Well, I think we all, you know, when you get broken on your throw,
100.
we all just ramp it up that much higher to break immediately back. You don't want to leave it. If you leave it, you often never get it back. So it's very important to break back straight away.
This is an important leg for Ted Hankey, because if he does go 4-2 down, the next hold of throw just becomes not paramount, but it becomes more important than the last leg, obviously.
And when you have a match of this length where the scores are basically level, it's like a tug of war, and you're just waiting to get that breakthrough where you get the guy near the mud, and then you feel good. And that's like a 4-leg cushion or something. But it's you know, equally important for Scott to hold to validate his break.
25.
Petulance.
Scott, you reply 104.
Thrown in pure and utter petulance by Ted Hankey. Didn't like the 1, didn't like the 5, so just threw the dart. That's not going to wash against this man. Double 16. Against someone else that may have put them off, they may have lost focus. Scott Waits is a world champion for a reason.
Another lethargic 41. I noticed this in the match with Whitlock, where he had a 41 looked even worse than that, where he looked like he wasn't even trying. And the next 3 darts he came back with a 180. He looked totally focused. It's almost like a ploy. Just, I'm going to throw 3 ones just to look like I'm not doing anything, and then bang, right back with the big score.
Is that trying to make the opponent lose focus?
It could be, and if it is, it might be overthinking. But who's to say? His tactics seem to work at times.
Yeah, they worked against Simon,
40.
but that was just on that occasion. Doesn't mean it's going to work every time, because Scott Waits appears to be a different proposition.
98.
Well, either way, it's an indecent proposal.
96.
Well, it's a better visit, but still, Scott Waits appears to be coasting towards victory in this leg. If he could have hit a decent score here.
40.
Well, that was snatched, and is insinuating that as well.
Giving some back to Ted, what he's been getting.
140.
Big visit needed. This is an important leg for Ted Hankey.
There's a good chance for Scott from 2-2-3 to go out in 6. He'll be thinking that this is a very real chance.
96.
Ted saying rubbish.
60.
Wake up, he's saying.
127.
Treble 20 for Scott. Treble 19 now. He's been pretty good on that as well.
59.
Well, that leaves 68. Not what he would have wanted. The ball is in Ted's court.
Now this could generate some roar if he gets a treble 18 in a bull. Yes! There's the roar.
Outrageous goings on. The first throw just threw the darts away as if I don't care.
He actually hit that last 2 darts sort of in the same fashion. It was just stroke of Zorro or something there, just all over the place, but it went in.
Just without care and just nonchalant. He really is an odd character to gauge, and what is he thinking? No one knows what he's thinking. You can't read that face. He's great. I love watching Ted Hankey. He can be utterly brilliant.
96.
Former twice world champ. On his day, he's majestic. But he can just, John, he can switch off and not care,
100.
and then care, apparently.
Well, he just likes to, at times, illustrate his disgust with whatever thing he's disgusted with by, hurling 3 darts away. And I guess it's sort of a gamesmanship in that he's saying to the opponent, it doesn't even matter, these 3 darts. I can just come back and do what I want, and you're not going to stop me. It is quite
81.
disrespectful, really.
Scott, you require 130.
Yes, I agree with that. Oh, 130 for Scott Waits. Treble 20. Gets it. Another treble 20. Just decided
98.
to set it up.
Well, he wanted the 140 and he only got 42.
Scott, you
So
require 32.
very easy approach now for this double 16 for Scott. Double 8.
Game shot of the A flag.
He's getting comfortable to that little combination. So if he misses, he wants to miss inside because he pretty much pops that double 8 in.
And Ted,
99.
in the last 2 or 3 legs, has become more and more animated. Scott just going about his business. I wouldn't say he's cranked up his average to 92, but it's getting higher.
59.
Scott, of course, champion here in
140.
2010. Come from 8-0 down to beat James Wade. What a performance that was. This is Ted's best here. He's reached the quarterfinals before
140.
in 2011.
Well, this is an entirely different scenario for Scotty because the expected favorite should be ahead most of the game, has to defend a lead and finish a game, which is a whole different psychology than the comeback. Fully capable of both, of course, not suggesting otherwise.
Well, Ted, he has beaten Scott Waits on the biggest stage of them all, the BDO World Championships. It was in 2012, so it wasn't that long ago, beating 4-3 in sets in the last 16. So he has beaten him when it matters.
In a close game as well, in a nervy close game. So we know it can be done by Ted. He has to keep it close.
85. Ted, you require 116.
Treble 20. Well, that's a perfect marker for the now needed treble 20. Taking his time. Mai's taking his time.
60.
He didn't look too impressed, Waits, waiting for all that time. Waits doesn't like a wait.
60.
He didn't look happy at all.
Ted, you require
In fact, he
56.
looked disgusted. Well, Ted, a bit confused. You do need 56, Ted.
Yeah, it's because you've been encouraging him all week, Wayne.
Ted, you've left this millions of times. Well, maybe not millions, but hundreds of thousands of times in practice. 56. You know how to hit that, man. Double 10. See? You know how to do it.
Ted Hankey.
Yes, Ted. Oh, shut up, he's saying.
10 flag. It's Scott to throw.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Come on.
Go on, Ted. You tell him. Yeah, rope a dope. Go on, my man. That's what he's doing.
96.
He does it very well, though, John, because against Simon Whitlock, it was similar. Okay, he wasn't that far behind, but similar ploy, similar tactics. The opponent is going off the boil. Ted capitalises exactly the same.
Although, you'd have to say, Scotty Tuhati has never been as dominant anywhere nearly as what Simon Whitlock was. So, in this case, Ted is playing a better standard all along during the course of the game. Oh, there's something for Ed Groen. He's not happy with that.
I thought he might have gone for the third one. That would have been great. May need repairs on the stem of the dart.
140.
As darts goes, you don't get any more show than this man.
57.
You just don't know what you're going to get. You pay your money, you take your seat, thinking, right, what show am I going to watch today? Oh, it's the Hankey production.
I thought it was a Hammer production,
99.
but I guess it's almost the same thing.
Leaves a finish.
Scott, you require 66.
Loves 36, so I'm assuming we'll go treble 10. Well, of course he went bullseye.
Yeah, I remember he went for that same shot. It doesn't make any sense, but he made the shot count, so it makes sense now. That's why it makes sense.
Scott Waits leads at the second break 6-4, winning both sessions 3-2. Ted riling himself. Rise yourself, man. Getting the crowd on his side. Again, Hankey finding himself. There we go, look. Mild light, superb. Thank you, fellas. Money's in the post. Well, Ted Hankey, right now, averaging 83. Needs to play better, in my opinion. But he's sticking in there, John.
He certainly is, and it's a long way from the finish for Waits. I mean, he needs another 10 legs, so there's a lot of darts to be played, and there's a lot Hankey can do. Needs to get his average up from 83, though, you feel, if he has any serious chance.
As I said, there's a
85.
hell of a long way to go. But Ted did say, I just want to stick with Scott for the first 15, 20 legs, and then see how it goes.
60.
Well, define stick with, because he's down a break. If he was down 2 breaks after another 10 legs, would that be sticking with, or is that too far? Don't know.
I should have asked him really what stick with means. It's a good dart for Ted, even though it's not in.
60.
Didn't use the marker at all, and it does look so bitterly disappointed at times. Santa Claus is coming to town.
100.
Oh, the pace is slowing down.
Well, incredibly, Scott Waits hasn't hit a 180 yet. The 10 legs.
160.
That's his highest score of the match, 160. Against Mark Webster after 5 legs, he hit 5 180s.
97. Scott, you require 20.
Yeah, double 10, and a moderate amount of pressure on it. It's a steal, a break, I mean. No stealing about it, he earned it.
Well, that's 2 legs running now. The one before the break, and that one where Scott Waits has won the leg when Ted Hankey has hit a shot to leave a ton plus. So effectively been 200 points behind.
85.
On his throw. Down 2 breaks now, and once again it comes into play where he needs to try and break back immediately after getting broken.
81.
Otherwise, they tend to stay on the scoreboard, those breaks.
Yeah, this is a real important phase of the game. 3 legs down, doesn't want to be 4, then 5, and then panic can set in. He appears to be having trouble keeping 3 darts straight. It's no good hitting 81, 95 because you're never going to get in front of an opponent like Waits.
58.
Well, Scott's finding the chant from the crowd, there's only one Santa Claus, quite amusing.
Well, in Ted's last match, it was Simon Whitlock. And will it be Scott Waits in this one?
140.
Well, that changes the complexion of this leg. May switch away.
60.
And here it is. Here's his chance. Got in a position. Should be able to break back. A very silly word, should. Oh, good cover onto the ball. Should be a nice
95.
position. Down to 90. He likes that. He goes for the bull first. He will be doing that because no finish for Waits.
58.
No pressure from Waits either.
Scott has made a real mess of this leg. He hasn't hit a treble in the last 9 darts.
And there's the bull for the tops. Just as he planned it.
Ted Hankey. 13th
Well, you were
leg,
quite right, John, about when you get
first.
break straight back, and that's exactly what happened. And after the first couple of opening throws of that leg, it didn't look likely. But Waits just went off the boil towards the latter end of that leg, and Ted, he cleared up.
100.
There's certainly lots of energy to draw off of from the audience for Ted, who likes to do so in his own ways. And it seems as though it's putting Scotty off a bit. Maybe not as used to the more of a Premier League atmosphere, the football atmosphere.
81.
Yeah, this clearly wouldn't be the atmosphere that Scott Waits is used to within the BDO system. That is, well, it's a bit more sedate than this, to say the least.
99. $44.
What's that? He said.
Well, looks like we're in for a run of breaks here, Wayne.
Yeah, there's no consistency, is there, from each player's play?
I mean, since the intermission, the last one, it's all breaks.
95.
The trend looking to continue because no finish for Ted, no finish here for Scott, but he's got 6 darts from 162. So theoretically, easy, should be done.
Yeah, I don't think Scott will care whether he could go out or not
130.
when you can set it up like that. And he's been good over on the left-hand side of the board where 32 is situated.
100.
Yeah,
Scott, you
if he
require
misses, he misses
32.
inside and then plunks it into the double 8. Let's see, double 16, the target. No need for any further darts.
That looked very likely, didn't it? Really did.
Scott to drill first. Come on.
Break. He will want a hold here. And all of a sudden, if he does, there'll be 4 legs in it, which didn't look likely for a while.
You know, it's kind of funny that it's almost flip-flop where now the pressure is on to hold.
100.
It can happen because it hasn't happened for a while, so it gets into their heads. Now, no one's done this, and I need to do it, and they make an effort at it rather than just go with the natural advantage and be confident.
Yeah, brilliant point, John. And Ted berating himself because when your opponent's hit 100 with the throw, just following with 100 is normally not good enough.
99.
You see Scott there, just hit 99 and sort of clench his fist. He is thinking what
digging.
you just said.
He's digging in a
100.
negative fashion. It's not helping his darts because he's trying, and trying isn't good. Focusing and just getting on with it is the best plan.
Got to switch.
138.
Does. That leaves 164. The only way Ted can put pressure on him is to hit 2 big trebles. Well, you can hit 2 big trebles now, Ted, it won't matter. 6 darts.
41. Scott, you require 164.
He's waved his arms at the board so many times, Ted. It's almost like he's trying to keep his arms loose as well. You know, it's just a cover story.
98.
So 66 once again, and he's going to go for the bull wing.
Yes, I know that now. And he will be under pressure.
140.
He will
Scott, you
be
require
under pressure.
66.
Bullseye. For double 8. 9. 32.
34.
Well, for a dart that looked so likely in the last leg, it was so unlikely then.
Yeah, and a good chance this needs that treble. No, not at all. Not even
41.
close.
Scott, you require
That was a real
32.
poor effort, that really was.
And I'm surprised the pace at which he approached it, the desperation, normally slows it down. But here's that double 8 after the inside 16.
The 14th flag.
He's packed to
Scott
that.
Waits, 15th
Yeah.
flag. It's 10 to drill first. Game on.
Huge leg. That's why Ted taking his time. And I thought it was Ted Hankey to throw first.
It is Ted's throw.
41.
Ted just questioning the referee, Paul Hinks.
Our scorers, no scorers.
The players having a conflab about it. Well, that was just one of those things. It's no one's fault. Now, if Waits would have hit a 180, oh my goodness, but he didn't.
But you do feel a little embarrassed if you're Scott Waits right now, because you should know what's going on. And because he's gone for throw and it wasn't really, even if he was called to throw, it doesn't matter. You should know what's going on. It shows he's a little bit flustered, even though he came off a high there.
Now, I'm going to defend Scott Waits here.
97.
He went first for one reason. Ted Hankey was hanging right back towards the table where the water is. And Scott, in my opinion, thought, well, it's not Ted to throw because he's nowhere near ready. It must be me
99.
to go. Yes, he should know, but if your opponent's not
So
there...
Ted tactic has once again worked, as if it puts him off.
I agree. I completely agree, yeah.
60.
Or did it work?
Well, you can never tell watching Ted. He's either fantastic or flat.
60.
60, followed by 60. Well, after the first start, if Ted doesn't hit a treble,
85.
would have been furious. In fact, he's hit a 60 and he's furious.
$140.
One treble is not enough. Got to switch.
137.
Super visit. Keeps the pressure on, Scott Waits.
Yeah, Ted can summon the timing of the big shots. That's what's kept him into this tournament to this point.
100. Ted, you require 122.
Treble 18, 18 ball.
Horrid darts. There's only 103 left now. I'm sure he'll make dead sure of that 5 times over before he gets on with it.
23.
Well,
Scott, you require 102.
is it a single 4 going for a bullseye to leave 99? That could not have been any worse for Ted Hankey.
So double 16 for a 102 check. Yes, to go up 10-5 into the third break. Scotty survives a barrage of oddities and breaks, but comes out looking very good in the match, looking confident as he strolls off. He'll be strolling back in a minute to try and get this match finished.
The drill first. Game on.
No, he's just trying to pump his adrenaline level up, trying to keep it up. He doesn't want to get flat. He doesn't want to accept losing. And sometimes when you are losing and you're down 10-5, you go flatline. And he's doing everything he can to prevent that.
Never been one to roll over. Trying everything, as you said, John, and good luck to him. It's better than seeing someone just, as I say, go out without a whimper.
You know what? That was strictly for himself as well. It was not directed at Scotty, anything like that. He's trying to motivate himself. So, as you say, power to him in that case.
100.
But, you know, then he looks kind of flat here, throwing emotions. It's like he's not translating that expression he left the stage with into the actual throw. He needs to throw harder, more aggressive darts.
Well, we see the shots of him going off for the break that were quite scary, to say the least. And then comes on to the stage after the break, and then him and Scott are having little chuckles together. But Scott seems to be taking that aggression away. Would that be fair?
Like a dampening sponge. Yes.
100. Ted, you require 140.
Just looking for a straight ton now after the first dart.
60.
Well, that's unlucky.
Scott, you require
Brilliantly grouped,
101.
just not in, I'm afraid. For a 6-leg lead. Treble 20. Well, went for treble 19. That leaves 74. We'll go treble 14 to leave 32. Well,
36.
Yeah, and without
Ted,
doing
you
anything
require
special at
18.
all, Ted's got a great break chance here. 2 singles to leave tops. Now it's a 25 for the bull. Bull. Oh.
39.
You know he wanted that,
Scott, you require
obviously, but he wanted it
65.
also just to get the emotion back.
yeah, it was more than just the leg, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
really was. Well, Scott has thrown some real wayward ones from 101.
And-
Should go 11, treble 11. Now that leaves the bullseye.
Yeah, anytime you score less than 5 at 65,
40.
it's a real
Ted,
blunder.
you require 41.
This leg turned into a bit of a mess. One for tops.
Being shot on the
Eventually
16
gets there and breaks
Ted
through.
Hankey.
And you're right, John, exactly what you say about just getting that momentum. And now he's throwing to close the gap to 3 rather than 6.
And I have to say, Scott Waits there he was Santa Claus. I was talking about earlier. That was a gift of a leg. I mean, that was not an earned break by Ted at all.
From 101, Scott Waits had 1 dart at bullseye. That was it. Ted doing well, kicking off with 2 big trebles. Oh, come back from the break, and okay, 2 good 57s, but looking a bit shoddy at the moment is Scotty.
Well, I guess it's confusing playing Ted. You know, he's sort of like good cop, bad cop, all in one. In a couple of turns, he's bad cop, and then in a couple of turns, he's good cop, and you just don't know what he's going to do. And it does affect your focus.
140.
Scott Waits is 13, 140. Good second dart from Ted. Well, got no need to be pondering this long, really.
64.
Well, all that time to hit 1. Wow.
Well, the 1 bought him an extra 10 seconds of killing time between Scott's throws, so it's just what he wants.
Yeah, it didn't really work, did it?
Didn't it?
100.
Yeah, he got a ton. So he's on a finish, but Ted at 174 with 6 darts, you figure, is it favored?
It's with a treble now.
Even without, he's got a
Scott,
nicer
you're
outshot
146.
opportunity than Scott has here. I mean, we haven't seen these big outshots in the match, and this would be a great time for Waits to get one.
Agreed. Oh, agreed. 54, 32. There's the 54. There's Here's the 32. John Park just said it would be a great time. He makes Hankey shake his head. The audacity to make Ted shake his head. Quite right, John. What timing.
You just get that little extra bit of focus at times when you realize a certain shot might have much greater significance than just the one leg.
That was Scott Waite's highest checkout of the Grand
60.
Slam.
And we talked about that factor in the match many times with Ted, but in this case it was Scott, and he did it. And that is making him feel very good.
140.
Another good visit. Ted really now needs to not just follow.
83.
The last start was thrown a bit nonchalantly. But yes, yes, why don't you go in the 60? Why'd you go in the treble one? What's going on here? Ted, they can't hear you, man. Maybe they can. I don't know. I don't know what darts he
100.
uses.
We pause for commentary. Not sure from us or from Ted.
44.
Just all that little. He's definitely thinking that the slow down Scott is the thing to do. And proving
140.
completely incorrect on that premise.
Is this the point of the match where the match is getting away from this man?
45.
Petulance again.
40.
I just don't think that works with Scott Waits. I really don't. I think he's far too focused. He's too good. Maybe at the start, John, when it was all new to him and all fresh. Now what Ted does is not new. It's not fresh. He's handled it before, and he finds himself 6 legs in front. He's dealt with Ted Hankey.
Yeah, like in a group match, that might work. So short, you know, but not this long. You get time to get over stuff in a match where you need to win 16 legs. You can get totally, completely nervous in a match like this for a leg or two, and you won't lose the match because of it.
100.
In most cases. Not that I'm saying that's what we're talking about, but the Ted factor might have taken a few legs here and there, but overall it just will not be lasting effect. You're quite correct.
43.
Slapdash from Waits. Ted now, every time he throws first, it really is paramount. He holds throw.
137.
Ah, come on, he says. He won't go out without a fight. That's what he's like. He's just not playing at the top of his game. He's not. Scott's finding it all quite
59.
amusing. He really is.
I think he's finding his own darts amusing in this one. Not in a positive sense, but seen the lighter side. What he's thinking is garbage.
140.
Every leg has a meaning to Ted Hankey. Like what you said earlier, John, it's just not the point of getting a leg on the board, it's what it means to him, and
41.
he tries to get the ball rolling again and again. Momentum is so important to the count.
I think it's value out of a leg win or a finish or a 180. He gets value out of it, he extracts it, he squeezes it.
42.
Scott cannot hide the funny side to this. Well, I suppose you can laugh when you're 6 legs up. He wouldn't be laughing if it was 9-all, would he?
180. So you've got 82.
His first 180, but lost in the shuffle.
71.
First 180. Amazing. Leaves him 178.
100.
If Ted was to lose this, he would be furious, right?
I can't look.
He won it, he won it, he won it. John Park couldn't look. Come on, we heard. Ah, come on.
Game on.
5 behind when he played Simon Whitlock. 5 behind against Scott Waits. I wonder.
Yeah, he was 5 behind Simon Whitlock when
100.
Whitlock was 4 legs away from winning the match. Scott Waits also 4 legs away from winning the match.
My goodness. Well, he's moving over to the left side of the hockey, hunting down the
60.
treble, couldn't find it. Ted slowed the pace down there, just walking to the board, but will that put Scott off? No, is the answer. No!
140.
The rhythm! The rhythm! Always the showman. It was a good reply from Scott, because Ted gave him everything there. Throw in with a bit more authority now. The darts are not flopping in the board. They're hitting the board with a bit of penetration.
Well, that's what I thought. You know, he needs to get the aggression into the actual dart action. It's all well and good to aim and to try and place the darts, but when that's not working, you have to go back to the old-fashioned pound them in.
Important with this beat. Treble 17. Well, 24 left. The pressure.
Scott, you require 78.
Important leg to win for Scott Waits. 54 for 24. Double 12. An important visit. Important dart. And gets it. Oh, Scott Waits giving it some himself. He was mimicking. He was copying. Was he taking the mickey out of Ted Hankey? Cheeky. World champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, 21st leg. It's Ted to throw first. Game on.
Oh, I noticed that Scott just about stepped up the throw again there. He said, no, it's you, Ted.
Hey, got away with it once, why not try again?
125.
Ted still shouting and making a bit of a racket every time he hits a couple of trebles.
77.
Obviously, each leg more important that Ted Hankey can get back in this match, because it's nearly got away from him.
60.
And of course, John, we can't hear it as loud, obviously, because we're not that close, but when someone is screaming and shouting on stage, it really is quite loud, and Waits is privy to everything he's saying.
Yeah, it bothers some guys and other guys don't care, you know. I think I'm in the Waits camp on that one. You know, it is kind of laughable at times. I have that sort of attitude myself. So I can completely relate to Scott Waits and how he's handling it, and I think it's appropriate.
100.
And if he wants to poke a little fun in the end, well, he better make sure he's going to win. That's all I can say. And he looks like he will.
Well, Ted was looking round at something. I think it was a bat. There's a... Well, what it is, I don't know. But something's annoyed him, John. I wonder what it is.
$46.
He's left 170. You know, that could be a strategy. Big out. Clearly not intentional, though, from the start.
77. Ted, you require 170.
He's done it once in this tournament. Can he do it again? The answer is no. It's paramount now that he leaves something decent.
95.
And does.
Scott, you require 107.
Treble 20. Now treble 17, sorry, to leave 36.
91. Ted, you require 75.
Should be treble 17. He loves double 12. 18 for tops.
35.
Well,
Scott, you require
that spoke
16.
for itself. It was so far away.
3 from 8 on double 8. Double 4. That's a good marker. He thought it was in. He's walked. That could be putting off in itself. That really can.
8.
Yeah, it does. You just lose your
14.
place of where you were, so it's not like you're adjusting the next dart. You have to reset, and it is a problem. But it's tops for Ted. Miles away each, high, low, and a double 10 straight in.
21st leg.
Where did that come from?
22nd leg. It's Scott to
And those are the most painful to watch as an opponent. And the guy's nowhere near for 2 darts, either direction, and then plunk right in the middle in the 3rd dart.
They really were poor. They were 2 poorest darts we've seen at tops in this whole match. But the thing is, he got the double 10 and he won the leg, and then he give it the big celebration again.
Well, and the first dart he had a double top from the turn before was even farther away than those. So, I mean, if you're Scott watching that last dart at double 10, you think he's got no chance. And then it goes in. All the more painful because Scott had 3 darts for double.
140.
They seem to just lose a bit of focus on the darts at double 4. The first one was fine, but then when you walk, in my opinion, you're not concentrating fully, because
95.
you just think you've thrown it and it's gone in, and you haven't looked properly, have you? And then you ruin your rhythm, and that's why he missed with the last dart. That's why he shook his head when he missed, Scott, because he wasn't pleased with the way he dealt with that situation.
60.
Well, yeah, and it's also a fact that if you don't move at all, it's much easier to adjust. If you've kept everything in exactly the same position and lurching forward, everything gets out of kilter.
55.
Puff of the cheeks. Scott will be looking for his 2nd maximum to leave tops. Well, he's pulling a few now, but I'm not sure if he lost his grip there.
And Ted is summoning something up behind him because he realizes this is an opportunity. Needs at least the 140 or similar shot. 2 trebles, big scoring. And he can capitalize, get a break chance.
We've said it before, and we shall continue to say it. It's all about the timing. Waits, poor visit. Hankey, superb visit.
19 will leave tops, but Ted has his chance here. 86 to complete a fantastic break of throw. Needs treble 18. Yes, double 16. You could see in his eyes that 2nd dart. He had a smile as well.
Well, the chance come about because he manufactured it really from nowhere by the 180.
But it was Scott's bad turn at about 220 wherever he was, and he hit 40 odd or whatever that was, and he didn't leave it a finish, a 3-dart finish. And Ted jumped on the opportunity. Full credit.
The crowd now singing Super Ted.
45.
That's so annoying, John. We've been there, we'll probably continue to do it, where you've had a real good break of throw and then hit a poor score.
Well, look at this, though.
24.
A lesser score. You could have bet your house against that happening.
It's happened in the last 2 legs where the darts are being dragged down, pulled to the right-hand side, and for a right-hander, they're normally pulled to the left. Not releasing very well at all at the moment, Scott Waits. That's better. Fluency in the motion, fluency in the throw. That wasn't there in the previous visit.
Fluency and strength as well. Just a full solid motion.
100.
One dart led to the other, didn't it? They wasn't three single darts. They go into the board as singles, obviously, but you need that rhythm.
$59.
Needs a treble to get to a finish.
100.
Not this time. Not this time. So it's Scott's turn to look at this and say, look, 238. Should be able to do that in 6. Not should do it, but it's a good chance.
Yeah, be looking for a 114, 98 game shot.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be thrilled with this the ton. You know, it still will be a chance. He'll come back for a chance for that 138. But where will Ted be? He's not looking too good after that 1. Or the 2. You better be careful to leave a finish. 194. He needs a treble.
Would he have the audacity to go for double 12? He wouldn't, would he? Treble 18, surely.
20.
Well, he went for it.
Scotty McParl, 138.
A certain Keith Deller took this out. 138. Just the 30 years ago. Incredible. He doesn't look old enough. Treble 20. Single 18 for tops.
98.
Yeah, Ted realizing that this was really a poor leg after such an excellent finish to the prior one.
Well, after singing Super Ted, they're now booing him.
Ted doesn't mind. He wants to make Scott wait as long as possible before this double top opportunity. See, we'll have a conversation.
Now, if Scott could just put this in first dart, walk back, then start the next leg, he'll stop him dead in his tracks.
Scott Wade.
I personally think that it's not an error, of course it's not, but if he'd have just got that, like he did first dart, walk back, then start in a manner in which he would do normally, you're kind of dismissing all the antics of Ted.
He's engaging a little bit, yes, and that could be an error.
60.
I just never got involved in anything like that.
When you're walking down the street and you see a guy like Ted coming at you yelling like he is, you don't make eye contact. That's
40.
rule of thumb.
Well, again, twice he said, and he'd be correct. Scott Waits just hit his 20th 140 of this match. There we see. From the 180s, it's been dominance. And the BDO world champion. Now, in all seriousness, this match really has got away from Ted, because
100.
if Scott can hold it, he'll only be one mistake away from Ted Hankey to close it out.
$83.
Looks like the energy has departed Ted Hankey. For real this time. For real.
60.
This is not an act. He realizes the writing's on the wall.
Yeah, the reality of the situation is at home, that the game is nearly gone. And Scott is playing a lot better than Ted, and he has done from the get-go. Now 60. Treble 19. Double 12.
129.
Yeah, you just feel a bit silly in that situation. You just see Scott grimacing about how far he missed by. You know, you hit 2 trebles as nice as can be, and then you're that far from the double. It didn't matter, but you feel professionally silly.
Yeah, you do. It was just a poor effort. It really was, and it was so good up until then.
92. Scotty McParl, 12.
Great marker. Just moves over a bit, though. Well, double 3.
6.
Could have been really cocky and just busted. Because Ted at 150 not too likely to hit it.
Yeah, I think you're right. The way he's been playing, I didn't see it go in.
47.
But I would say from
Scott
Scott Waits, that was a
6.
professional miss on the double three, rather than leaving three, which he could have been ultra aggressive. Well, he was ultra aggressive then. Double one. Gets it. Scott Waits is one leg away
25th leg is set to
from a place in the semi-final. He'll probably think that it's taken a bit longer than he wanted to, but he doesn't care. He's just engaging with Ted. Look, it's funny when you're one away. When you're embroiled in a real street fight, then nothing's funny.
$119.
Will he make one big effort to end it here, or is he
96.
happy to just get the throw next time, you think? He looks very relaxed, Scott Waits. And Ted obviously tense and eager.
85.
I don't think he's bothered if he wins this leg, personally. But
I agree. I think it's set up for him to just put in one
93.
massive effort and get it done.
he's just heaving these darts. The funny thing from Scott's point of view is he might win the leg anyway. Because that much pressure
95.
on Ted. When you need to win 7 in a row, it's pretty tough.
You can't look on it like that, though, can you? As a player, you know that you look on it leg by leg by leg. If you look on
59.
it in its entirety, it becomes a seemingly
Correct,
impossible
yeah.
target.
Yeah. That's for sure. One step at a time.
140.
Because once you get about halfway on a comeback like that, potentially, all the pressure's on the other guy then. He's thinking, what's going on?
He becomes a protector, doesn't he?
And that's not the way to play darts. This is, though.
140. Ted, you require 62.
This to stay alive. Because Scott Waits has a very doable out. You better check it out, Ted.
He's milking it for everything he's got. What way is he going? Well, 60 for double one. He didn't go 60 for double one, did he?
Scott, you
Did he?
require
He did.
130.
He did. But this, 113, we would expect a much more traditional shot because it's for the match. 13 for double top, or double 18 it is then.
77.
A great
Ted, you
dart,
require
but not in.
20.
Scott Waits has had one dart to wrap this match up. Double five. Gets it. Ted Hankey saves the match after Scott Waits has one dart. Well, he had the audacity to want 62. 60 for double one. He missed it, but this is pantomime from Ted Hankey. This is what he does. He is within one leg of going out of the Grand Slam. But at the moment, Scott Waits cannot end it. Frex. That's tomorrow. All to look forward to. But right now, all Scott Waits is looking forward to is a nice little lager shandy after winning this leg and get it done and dusted. John, he will not want to lose any more legs and let it become a bit of a drama, will he? He'll want to finish it now.
Well, especially against Ted, and especially after Ted's last game. And when you know about all these things, it does make it a little more difficult if it starts to happen now. You just think, oh no, oh no. And it gets worse and worse.
26 leg. It's Scott to do first.
Ted dodged a bullet in the last leg. Scott had one dart at double 18 off 113. But now this is the leg.
Fantastic. Just fantastic.
100.
Only Scott Waite's third 180 of the match. In the 26th leg. Well, he's saying, come on now. He's becoming animated himself. He wants this done.
60.
Wants this done, wants this dusted. Don't give this man any reason to celebrate again.
Oh, excellent adjustment.
140.
Fantastic himself there. Level in the leg. Scott still at advantage.
Yeah, and the pressure Teddy's under as well. One mistake and it could be over.
100.
Well, this is a slight opportunity. A 140 now. No, he would just want to get a finish.
57.
Well, writing on the wall. 6 starts for 161. He doesn't need this 161. Probably not even likely to go for it.
Just looking to leave, if he could, one darter,
yeah,
but two.
65.
And the thought he was having, probably what I was saying, and the problem with that thought is you don't have the dart scoring to get down to the double. You let off the gas, and that's what can happen.
He become non-aggressive, John.
Exactly, but still a realistic chance.
Treble 20. Is he staying there or is he going double 18? Double 18 for tops! And he gets the double 18 and he gets the tops. Ted Hankey is out of the Grand Slam. Scott Waits is through. 16 legs to 10. He will play Robert Thornton in the semi-finals. We'll be back with both of them after the break.